Welcome in to another episode from the Critics Collective. I'm the Dad Panther, who's sometimes on mute, even when they're streaming live to over 25,000 subscribers. Hey, it happens. It happens. And we're going to get into this review of Love is Blind, Season 9, Episode 11. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. I couldn't even if I tried to unmute myself. Anyway, so if you watched how it played out and then towards the end realized I was muted, I can't go back. I can't fix it. But luckily you're here and you can get a gist of kind of what happened that episode. And I'll work harder next time. So for this episode, we're, I guess, a few days before they're getting married. I think we have 2 episodes left or maybe 1 episode left and then a reunion. It's my first time watching the show. So hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more. Put in the description, is there a reality show I should check or reality check it? And with that being said, let me get into first off Nick and Annie. I don't think anything came out of that episode with them. Maybe I'm missing something, but I didn't see Nick and Annie in it. And I know the last time basically Annie packed her shit and she left. And I don't know if that was the end or she just wanted space to figure stuff out. I don't know. We'll find out. Tony and Allie. Allie looks like she won both moms over. There were some issues with her sister, but I don't think it's going to be anything to derail them. Allie and Tony kind of have the conversation. How do you know when to stay? Tony's more traditional, like, hey, I'll support you, but I just want 50-50 on certain things. But it's going to take work. It's going to take time and understanding and figuring this out, and we could do this together. Allie says, yeah, that's great, but there's also a thin line between what seems like compromising and what something that's just not working. And she wasn't able to tell Tony what that was, but they still seem good. But it seems like Allie's like, hey, I know when I'm not happy, and I'll let you know. You had KB and Ed, who started out really good, but then it got kind of heated on that snowy day on the snowbed. KB said, yeah, just the way she said, yeah, you can tell that something was going to go off because she goes and gets hot cocoa. He doesn't help for it. And she talks to him about, hey, look, we should be on the same page about certain things. So she was really, really pissed off. And it sounds like she's, or at least what she feels like, she came out of character. I don't think so. I think we have a breaking point. We have a moment where sometimes we don't have the ability always to catch or think what we're going to say or do because we're human. It just happens. But she says she's not fake and she's waiting for him to actually be a grown up, accept responsibility, accountability, and say sorry sincerely. And he basically's like, I'm not going to say sorry for something I didn't do. I'm just saying a lot of guys would beg differ as we apologize sometimes for things that we know and they know we didn't do. Moving on. So she would just, a lot of it was like shake her head. Like she couldn't understand his thought process on that. Later on, he does say sorry. And she says, hey, look, you made me a better person. He says, you made me a better person. And so we'll see what happens. I do think now that they will get married, because I said in the previous, that KB is the one that's going to control this, whether or not she wants to. I don't want to say like he's a project, but if she wants to take this on, because sometimes in a relationship, there is somebody who takes more of it. It's not always 50-50 or whatever. It is what it is. And I think she's going to step up to the plate and she's going to, that's the dynamic she's going to go with. Joe and Madison. Joe dipped the last episode. He came with this fake, oh, I don't know what the reason is. I don't like you, bitch. Yes, you do. You do know, because when we go to a restaurant or fast food, I'm not to say a relationship is like food, but sometimes if you know what I mean, you got to eat. But what ended up happening was, that you don't like the fries because they're soggy, they're cold, the burger, what it is. And for him not to know anything, but then to say, when Madison was like, oh, what if we were separate, like not on the show, we're just to ourselves and we could do this. Like, I'll learn to love you and figure this out without the cameras. You cool with that? He's like, no, I put too much thought into it. This isn't going to work. And so she goes, okay, so then what did you use to come up with that? Tell me. Oh no. And as soon as she was like, well, then if you love me, then hug me. It reminded me of like the Saved by the Bell episode where Zach and Kelly are talking. And I think, and I'll leave you, and I heard the news today. That was a breakup for me as a young man, like listening to them. Jesse and I think it's AC and Jesse were singing, tell me, how can I not live without you? And then Zach goes like, do you love him? And she's like, yes. No, I don't know. You're like, bitch, you don't know. Come on now, my boy, Zach. and they had that moment. You do know, and but they held each other. They were actors, but they weren't actors to us. But they were actors. He didn't hold her. He was like rubbing her with her thumb as if like they were at a bar. Like at a bar, you get that you do that kind of. And she's like, "Well, if you cared and you loved me, you would hug me." And she was like, "Are you worried about someone else effing me? Because I'm worried about someone fucking you. That's what kind of love I have." It's a different kind of love from Madison. She loves a lot, but she wants that pipe to be laid. I'm just saying. And he was like, "That's gonna hurt me to think about it." You could see a few times where he was smiling. Dude, I don't think there's any man, respectfully, who is okay with even the idea that somebody else is knocking your wife down like it's a Tyler Perry movie. That's crazy. I'm just saying I watch a lot of sisters. With that being said, I don't know. Joe is full of crap. It is what it is, and it's unfortunate for Madison. Megan and Jordan, she's big on numerology. It seems like they had tarot cards. They were doing a reading. It made Jordan feel uncomfortable, and this is where you're starting to see them being kind of really good over the last 3 episodes. And you're seeing that Jordan, being nice guy, laid back, isn't going to work in this approach because Jordan doesn't want to talk about his work and his personal. Megan's like, "Give me that. I'm your spouse. Like, I want to be that person to know those things about you." And also, she wants him to not be lazy. Not lazy in the sense that he doesn't do anything, but he's too chill for her. And I told you guys my idea that he would be the chill to get her to chill. And she likes that at times, but she also likes to go. Sparkle likes to go. Sparkle don't like to hold anything back. She never been about that. Never been about that. So Sparkle was talking about she wanted to go to LA for a trip, then happy hour over here, then hit Aspen with her girlfriends. And she wants him to be a part of these trips. And he was more like, "Go out there and do you. I can't be doing that because I got kids. And I don't want no nanny raising my kids. Go in there, nanny and nan, damn it, nan." And that's just what it is. But I don't agree with Jordan on that part because there are people who do have different lifestyles and they do hit the gym and do sports and eat a certain way or travel and hang out with their family and friends and they still have kids or a kid. Like it's just so it's different for everybody. So you really can't judge that. So I felt like he was off, not completely off, but he was off on that. And Jordan says to her, "Hey, look, we're not in the pod anymore. This is real. This is who I am. This is going to be a deal breaker for you." And she was like, "It might be." And he said at one point, "Hey, look, you dated men who hit the status because I know exactly what you're talking about. You dated men like that. And did that work out for you? It did. And that's why you picked me." I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That was some shit right there. That was some shit right there. And I think that's how the episode ended because now I can't remember because I'm so focused on my head that I was muted. I'm not muted now, but I was muted towards a nice chunk of that fucking episode. I don't know what happened there. I don't think the subtitles will pick up my lips moving. That'd be weird if AI was doing some shit like that. Well, let's go ahead and rate it. We rate here from a 0 to a 5. 5 being a great episode, 0 being a not a good episode. So let's see, episode 11, season 9. Don't go muting my game. Don't go breaking my heart. Sorry. For this episode, I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna rate it a 5. I'm gonna rate it a 5. I don't know if the final episode. I don't know how many times I rated a 5 on this. Let me know in the comments. Did I rate a 5 on any of these episodes? But I'm gonna rate it a 5. I thought it was excellent. I thought it was excellent TV for what the show was giving me. There was at the end, which I felt like was the end. Let me hold on. Let me see something. Who was the end with? Was it Megan Joy? There was some kind of cliffhanger thing where I couldn't believe that they ended it that way. I can't remember what it was. But nevertheless, I was entertained. KB and Ed, that was a deep thing. Joe and Madison, as uncomfortable as I was in that whole situation, it's entertaining because I'm not in that situation. I think that's why we watch reality TV. So I'll try to stream again and I'll try to not hit the mute button. My bad. That's on me. That's on me. But you could have been anywhere in the world. Hit the subscribe button, like, follow for more. We really appreciate you here at the Critics Collective. Until next time, kalika-lika-low. Kalika-lika-low. One day I'll tell you guys a story on that. I'm sure I've said it multiple times, but just in case before I move on to another catchphrase.